That's exactly respect the game. Welcome to Thursday's edition of Crypto and Coffee with the Trading Bros, and just respect the waves of the market. That's what it's all
Respect the
about.
game.
Hey,
Respect.
so we had a little bit of a pullback last night when we were testing the area that we needed to break out to
Our
get to higher
peaks. Our
prices.
peaks.
And now we're just kind of ranging back here, 1636 New York Open with a little bit of pump. Is that a trap or not? So let's dive into the charts, take a look at Bookmap a little later, and get an idea on what's going on, my people. Welcome to the show. B. Wellington, what do you got, man?
Hey man, great entry. Great
You're
entry.
welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Well, look, I mean, this is where we've been at. I mean, we've kind of been ranging in this area. We talked about it. We have, to a certain extent, we're using this yellow dotted line here, support. We can kind of move that within a range. But it looks like it's trying to hold. We busted through it, came back down, busted through it, and now we're sitting right there on that, what I would call support for right now. So we're looking to come, break down into this lower level, which would be a sub 1556, or move up into where we peaked yesterday or yesterday's high of what is that 1685. And so we're kind of stuck here in the middle of this range, just ranging around, really not doing too much, but it's really starting to respect this support line. Again, looking at where we're at and kind of the downtrend that we've been on, I do expect us to move to the upside into this area to complete, to see if we can test these ranges up here. I would consider this to be kind of a shorter term or shorter term resistance area, or we can break down and start testing this 800 EMA on the 1 hour. So again, we're kind of in one of those areas. It's just ranging around here, and generally when it starts to range and it's holding this line, you'll see a couple different moves, maybe a move to the upside and then to the downside, complete the quote unquote this W. That would be here. If it does hold this range, expect us to move into this area. And then conversely, if we do start moving into this area and hold this area and we don't break through, then we, are expected to come down and probably retest some of this area down to the here to the
So
downside.
that
But
area that you're talking about is kind of in the mid to high 1700s.
that area that I'm talking about, yeah, 17, kind of 64. If we meet the top of it, as you can see, we have a peak that's right here. So anybody that potentially went long here is probably trapped. And so if we get up there, probably expect some type of a pullback on the initial, unless we get a big vector that brings us all the way through that, and then see if we can flip this to make to basically build our support lines up in this area right here. But if we do take a little longer time frame look at it, it is consistent with some of the price action that we've seen here in June. So we're just getting back to levels that we were at last month. So we haven't, but on a larger time frame, as you can see, we still have a lot of imbalance to the downside. We still have this wick down here, and so longer term projections to the downside are roughly in this area, maybe even lower than that, kind of depending on what's going on. But we don't have a Fed meeting in a little while. Some of the news that came out today was positive. We'll talk about that here in a second. And so, there could be potential for a rally. But, we've been doing a lot of ranging as well in the last couple of days. So if we do get up into these areas and don't break through or start to stall in this area, volume starts to taper off a bit, I do expect us to come back down. But, if you look at it, we really haven't even been able to get through, looking at the 14-minute, we really haven't been able to get through the psychological lows, which are somewhere in here. It's a very complicated chart with lots of stuff on it, but we're right here in the pivot point. We've got yesterday's high up here. We are seeing an early move to the upside. So, if we don't get a continuation, again, it's the first 30 minutes of futures open. So if we don't get a continuation, that's going to be suspect for me. But we've got to get back up to this 1665 area and really show some strong vectors moving out of this zone so that we can start moving back up into this area to test this zone as well. So we got to see what this price action looks like. It's very uh, it looks very
Choppy.
trappy at this point in time because we have had some vectors, but we haven't really had any follow through. Again, this is a 14-minute, so a little lower time frame, but we haven't really done anything outside of move away from the daily open, come back, and then kind of bouncing off of that daily open. So we have had 2 taps. So based upon that, based upon some of the way that these really it looks like shorts have been trapped in this area as well. If we're just looking at price action. So they could punish shorts today. I'd be interested to see what high block looks like. Again, if we're looking at this, we've got RSI that's kind of on the top levels. We've got momentum waves down here, a little bit of bullish divergence, if you want to look at this line right here and call it that. And so potentially, we could move up and test, the London highs, the Sydney highs, but just doesn't look like a lot of action coming into the charts right now. If you look at OI is at 5.1 billion, a little off of the highs, but we've been hanging out about that 5.1 billion. Nothing really concerning happening on the OI side. If we look at funding rate's kind of mixed across the board, but overall it looks like a positive as far as more longs versus shorts being in that market. Moving on traditional markets, we did have a negative pre-open, and it popped up to the upside. Now it's headed back to the downside. So ranging really hard, even on the traditional market side. Economic calendar, something we talked about a little bit earlier. We've got jobless claims came in just as expected. So this number is in line. Continuing job claims 1.42 last year, 1.37. They didn't have an estimate for this. Trade deficit is actually coming down somewhat, which is positive for us. And then we've got Loretta Messer speaking. So this data says that the markets have been somewhat correct relative to how we're looking at unemployment, but non-farm payrolls are tomorrow. It's a big number. That we'll see. And so we'll have to really look at what that looks like and see if the market reacts to that, the unemployment rate, anything of that nature, because these numbers are going to be pretty important, including the consumer credit. So that's all I got in my end. What's up on high block and looking at?
Well, let's check it out, big guy.
I'm glad you entertained yourself with a big guy comment.
Hey, I'm like that guy we were watching videos the other day of. He laughed at his own jokes. Remember that? Anyway, so this is High Block Capital, and as you can oh, come on. It's frozen.
Uh-oh. You're talking about my shit frozen, your shit frozen.
No.
Stay frosty, my friend.
Oh, and right when I click the refresh button, then it decides to work. Anyway, hold on 1 second, guys. Do apologize for the slight technical issues due to Tier 2.
So so Nancy Pelosi is back in. Is she back yet, or did they shoot down the plane?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe her plane got shot down.
I think the market may all of her puts with.
Let's do, we normally do Tier 1, so let's keep that consistent. So as you can see here, we're almost. This is loading, but I looked at it a while ago, so I kind of cheated. We're almost even as far as short long liquidations go. So they really got that ranging done pretty well. And, you just got to keep talking when things are growing and blossoming into a beautiful chart here. And did you find anything else out on Nancy Pelosi?
Did
Something
I
cool
find
happened?
anything on Nancy Pelosi? I don't know, but I hope that her husband starts a signal group. I'd be really interested in
Yeah, man, you
signing
should
up.
start a
Yeah, signing up
Discord,
for
right?
Nancy Pelosi's signal group. That would be nice. Just call out,
Right. So
call right
anyway,
out.
yeah, buy here. Um, so as you can see here, we have about 1,400 short liquidations, about 1,060 long liquidations. And we only have one big liquidation that we haven't got, which is down here in the 1550 area. It's a 25x liquidation. So I'm not sure if we're going to actually get back down and take that guy out. But we do have some 50x liquidations up here in the 1740 area. So will they come back and get these? That's definitely a possibility. Let me put this book map because this is a lot more interesting than high block at this point in time. 1650, we came up. We didn't really get into testing this yet, but as you can see, those orders are still there. There's still a lot of them. 1650, and this is a bunch of orders. A bunch of shorts just came in. That was reason for that pullback that we just saw from the 1650 area. But what I really want to pay attention to and see is when we come back and retest this area, uh, there's a really good chance that we could break through. So if we get back up here to 1650 again, guys, go ahead and inspect some higher prices because this is going to have some momentum and definitely see this having the momentum to get through this. However, if that doesn't work out, our 1600, 1610 area is an area to look for a bounce or a breakthrough because we do have some more liquidity down here at 1550. And let's take a look at the larger scale where we see if we have some long-term liquidity that's popped back up on board. Last 24 hours, they've been running a really tight liquidity area as far as orders go. And as you can still see, we are testing. This isn't, normal resistance and support areas that we talk about on a large scale, but that's something that's very relevant order book wise. 1650 is our resistance area that we need to break through to see us start heading to the upside as far as things that are going to be happening in the short time frame like today. So 1650, man, we retest that. We don't break through it. Go ahead and expect lower prices, but I'm bullish for today, and I'm thinking that we're probably going to get through it today. So that's my opinion because I am the bull. And what do you what do you think over there, B. Wellington?
I mean, look, there's two areas that we need to test. To the upside, we're pretty evenly stacked as it relates in long and shorts. From that end, so I think we've got a pretty good chance of going either way. But if I had to make a trade, which this is what we do, not financial advice, but I think if we start retesting yesterday's lows, again, it wouldn't surprise me if we tested those lows. I don't know if we break that 1556 area. This movement to the upside within that, the first 30 minutes of the session, to me is a little bit suspect. So, I think we head to the downside, retest that 1556 area. If that holds, then, I'm all on board with the bullish scenario. But, if it doesn't hold, expect our next stop to be in that 1475 area, which would be the 800 on the 1 hour for that USD2. So I am short-term bearish, but I think, as far as probably early this afternoon, but I think probably later on tonight, we may start to test those areas back to the upside in that 1700 area. Thank you very much.
So you're bearish right now, but bullish later.
Mm-hmm. If we're talking today,
Well,
we're
you
talking
heard it
just
here first, folks.
we're just talking here today.
It's going to be a roller coaster.
1556, I think I think we get down back into the area. If that doesn't hold, I think you see 17th, but if not, 800s. I know I just repeated myself, but it was worth it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
A little shout out to Tino. As Tino always says, make sure you guys pay yourself. Make sure you guys are careful in your trades. And definitely, guys, once you're in profit, lock a good stop loss in profit just in case it gets caught the other way. And, our new saying here at Crypto and Coffee with the Trading Bros, just ride the wave, dog. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Until then, hey,